Well, I guess it's time for more sleep-deprived ramblings. While this really won't be ramblings, it is sleep-deprived. It's 4:08 in the morning, Sunday morning. I've been trying to do this video since like Tuesday night. I just couldn't make it through it. A lot of stuff has happened since the last video. I'll get into an update on Mom in a little bit. But I just gotta thank somebody first. And I won't call them out because I don't know that they would want me to, but they know who they are. It's family. Actually, until I was in high school, I thought they were just family friends of Mom and Dad. It wasn't until then that I realized or found out that we were actually related. And regardless of what it is on paper, the distance in relation, I can tell you that Dad always did, and Mom and I both, to this day, consider you much closer family than what we are on paper. More like immediate family. But the person, like I said, I know they'll see this. I know they see my posts and watch the videos and check for updates on Mom because they care. The favor that they have done me, and Mom, it's so huge. We've been afraid. I've been afraid for quite some time now, and have driven myself insane trying to find a way to save my house and land where Dad's buried. It's been in the family for a long time. Mom will soon be kicking into Medicaid coverage, and I'm sure a lot of people know what that means. When that happens, the state government, whatever, federal government, they can step in and say, okay, we're going to cover all of this, but obviously we want repaid. I mean, after all, it is a business, I guess. It's not right. It shouldn't be legal. To me, the government, both federal, state, and local, is entirely too crooked these days. But anyway, that's for another time. I have literally driven myself insane trying to find a way to keep it from happening this late in the game. Because unbeknownst to me, up until 2 weeks ago, I thought it was safe. I thought Mom had taken steps after we went through all of it with Dad to make sure it stayed safe. From that point on, wasn't until a couple weeks ago that I figured out that it was not 100% safe. And I tried every way in the world to come up with a way to save it, and just kept hitting block walls everywhere. Actually, I literally hit a couple block walls. But I remembered these people. Remember them helping Mom and Dad in the past, and I thought, hey, why not give it a shot? I don't know if they still could, but what have I got to lose at this point? I got in touch with them, and man, the stuff, what you done, I can never repay you. Not for the things in the past, and definitely not for this. And I've thanked you via message. Told you I would repay you. And like the angel on earth that you are, said that I didn't have to, but I will. And hopefully very soon I'll thank you in person. But when I told Mom what you done, what you ensured, the look of relief on her face was something that I haven't seen in a lot of years. I think she got the first night of good sleep herself that night, Tuesday night, she's had in a very long time. And you're more. It's more than I can ever repay. But I won't go into a lot of details on the situation, or at least what they done. But you saved everything. You saved me, you saved Mom, you saved the house, the land, everything. I can never thank you enough. I will try. I'll come to work for you, whatever I have to do. But thank you. Thank you so much. Always in the past, for the majority of my life, I've been I've been rather private on a lot of things, most things. I have a small group of friends, circle, if you will, that I open up to quite a bit, probably 80%. An even smaller group, less than a handful, I open up to 100%. But for once, I'm going to be very public about some stuff, because I feel like with what God has done for me recently, God's done a lot for me in the past 2 months, but just this week, the things that He's done and shown me, I feel like I just need to be a little more open. And while I'm sure it'll come with scrutiny and strange looks when people see me, may cause some people to look down on me. It's okay. I'm used to it. Heck, I'm used to it from family. So I've always been the black sheep everywhere. So, and the loner. But worrying about saving everything for Mom so that she can have the health care that she needs. I've been trying to take care of Mom, make sure that she's okay and comfortable and getting what she needs. I've tried to take care of the house, work on things to save the house, not just take care of it in a physical sense, but secure it so that she has a place to come to. It's hard for me to say some of this stuff, but I really feel like it needs to be said. Gotten to the point on Monday that I've been at low points before in my life, when everything happened with Dad, with his stroke, so many decades ago. When Dad passed away, when I went through a very bad divorce, the things that I had to deal with because of that divorce, that she left, stuck me with, whatever, that I had no clue about until it was too late to do anything about it. I got very low at those points. The death of very close friends, friends that I still mourn every day, family members that I still mourn every day. Because at this point, my friends, a lot of my friends are family. I'll always consider them family. The ones that have gone, Dustin, technically is family, but closer family than on paper to me. Casey, a lot more. Miss Small, a lot every day. Dad. But Monday I hit a new low. I came home Monday night. I didn't stay at the hospital with Mom because I needed to look for paperwork. Everything I was working on, trying to save things, and I just needed 5 minutes to myself to think, to comprehend, to break down. I broke a couple times in front of Mom now, and it didn't help her, and I tried not to, but you can only go so far, you know. And with trying to do it all by myself, basically, with very, I've had a lot of help from friends, a lot of help from my church, but the stuff that I needed help with, and that while they did help with things I needed help with, just trying to make sure Mom was okay, was comfortable, didn't feel like she'd been left alone. That's the stuff that I really needed help with and was struggling with, to try to juggle that with everything else and have time to do it all. But Monday I had a new low for me in my small, less than a handful of group of friends that really know everything. They know that that's pretty low. I came home Monday night, talked to my uncle a little bit. Telling him where I was. I'm positive this entire time he hasn't comprehended. And a lot of people with the Medicaid thing, a lot of people say, "Oh, they can't do that. They can't take your home. They can't take your land." Yes, they can, because I have friends that it's happened to. I know people that it's happened to, and some family members, friends, are like, "Oh no, you're worried about nothing. They weren't taking it very serious," and that was bugging me badly, because it was serious. Still is serious, despite another family member, an angel on earth. It's what you are to me. But anyway, I hit a new low, and I told my uncle, I was trying to explain everything to him, why this was the way it was, and why this wouldn't work, and that, and because I mean, the way they've got all that stuff worded and written, the Medicaid laws, they're pretty airtight. It's really hard to find loopholes. Trust me, I tried. There's about 147 pages of it. It's actually over 400 pages of law, but 140 some that I keyed in on and read at least 7 times. All 140 some pages. I think it was 147. trying to find anything. Turns out it was right there under my nose. I just didn't know how to. I didn't know the legal terminology. But anyway, I told him. I said, I failed. I At that point, it didn't look like anything was going to work. Anything was going to help. I told him. I said, I failed mom. I failed dad. I've tried everything. I can't. I can't. I was always told, and I've always thought, if I put no matter what it was, if I put my mind to it, I could accomplish it. I can make it happen. And this wasn't happening. I hate defeat. I don't handle it well. I don't handle having to give up well. Sorry, I'm trying to prop this phone up. I felt like the biggest failure because I'd failed mom and dad in saving everything. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't find a way to do it, find a way to pull it off. Tell him, I said, at this point, I'm ready to just walk in there and grab one of the guns and end it. Like I can't face mom knowing that I couldn't save it for her. He didn't take me very serious. He left, and I started rummaging through paperwork, through the safe, through everything, trying to find copies of deeds and a copy of Dad's death certificate. And so I thought I'd found a way, but it wasn't 100%. Wasn't sure that it was going to work. Turns out it wouldn't have worked out anyway because I couldn't have gotten the loan because of the ex-wife and what I had to go through there with having to. I'll let that go. But finally just sit down. And this is the part that I'll probably get blasted over. I don't care. Somebody needs to hear this. I sit down with my .357 revolver loaded, hammer cocked. Stared at it for probably at least 2 hours. I'm a facts and numbers guy. I like percentages, likelihoods. I sit there trying to reason why I should or shouldn't do it. And every time I'd come up with a reason to do it, I'd come up with a reason to not do it. It's the way my brain works. Finally, after 2 hours, I decided if I do this, well, technically, you could say I went down fighting. If I do this, there's nobody left to fight. And I don't give up well. So, put the hammer back, popped the chamber, emptied it, put it all up. Went to bed feeling like the biggest failure. I laid down about 5 a.m., was up at 6:30, getting ready for work. Got some work done. I had to go to the hospital for the weekly assessment meeting on mom. They dropped several bombs on me there, one of which being that mom would probably have to go to a nursing home. Like I said, more updates on her in a bit. I broke. When I finally left the hospital, went out to the car and started it. I sat there for at least 20-30 minutes just bawling like a baby. I had for 2 days. I'd go with my job, I'd go to a stop, and I'd have to sit in the car for 10 to 15 minutes to try to gather myself before I could go in. I sit there just broken. I finally just threw my hands up and said, God, I'm done. I can't. I got nothing left. I've pushed as far as I can push. I've tried as hard as I can try. I've given more than I thought I even had to give, more than I probably did have. I just simply said, God, I'm done. I told Mom before I left, I said, at this point, it's going to take a miracle from God, and I'm afraid we've used up our miracles. With her getting to the point that she'd gotten from where she was, I mean, on December 8th, they told me she had 2 hours. She might have 2 hours. Here we are 2 months later, she's still fighting. At that point, the fight had gotten pretty weak on her part. But she knew what was coming. She knew I was dumb for even trying to hide it from her. I'd slip in a conversation. Hey, Mom, where's a copy of this? Where would I find a copy of that? Where would you have? She'd went through it with Dad 15 years ago, more than 15 years ago. Almost 25 years ago. She knew. She knew when she told me she hadn't ever done a will. She knew what I was doing, what I was trying to do. So I sit there, just cried out to God. I said, I got nothing left. I got nothing. I've hit a wall every way I've turned. I have no energy, no stamina. I have nothing left. I give up. God, please help me. Please help Mom. I sit there, trying to gather myself, dry my eyes so I could see, clean my glasses off. I don't know how long it's been since I've wore contacts at this point. I finally put the car in drive and left. And hadn't made it too far from the hospital, of course, with that road construction over there. It's not hard. I kept thinking, I just kept, in my head, for some reason, I kept rolling the nursing home thing in my head. Because as soon as they mentioned it, Mom said, if I've got to go to a nursing home, I want to go to Heinemann. Because I know everyone there. And she does, for the most part. And Dad was there for 9 years. Mom was there every day of those 9 years. For at least 12 hours a day. I kept rolling that in my head, and finally a thought popped in. And it wasn't just thought, it was God. It was God gave me that thought. And it hit me. When everything got worse, when everything got the worst for Mom and Dad, there was two people, a couple, family, that they always turned to for help. And I don't know what they would do or how they would do it, but they always came through. They always fixed it. They always helped. So I thought, I got nothing else. Why not? So I sent a message. And it wasn't very long before I heard back. I got a message back. Then I got a phone call. And a couple more phone calls. Within an hour, God had worked another miracle. thanks to that person that's always been there. I told him, I said, Mom and Dad always trusted you guys with everything, including their lives, because that's what it was with Dad. I said, Mom needs your help now, and I need your help. When nobody else would, when nobody else could, they came through. I don't say any of that. I don't say that whole story for pity or whatever. I say it because, again, I'm not, an eloquent person with words. I'm just educated enough, and there goes the dryer. I'm just educated enough to get by. I'm educated enough to sound more educated than I am. I say it for whoever's out there that may watch this, that may be at the same point I was Monday night. You feel like the biggest failure on the planet. You feel like you failed everyone. That you don't matter to anyone. But you do. Whether you know it or not, you do. Because of the type of people that my mom and dad were, they made many, many friends. Some that are family, but are much closer family than they are. Some that are not related by blood, but mom and dad always considered them family. But you matter to somebody, even if it's just God. And it may feel like that God abandoned you, because that's what I felt like. I felt like I've used up my prayers. I've used up my requests, my miracles, my favors from God. The problem was, because I'm me, I wouldn't get out of God's way for him to fix it to begin with. It took me giving up and stepping out of the way for God to show me that he's not done. For God to show me that I do matter to other people, that mom still matters to people. There's some people that mom doesn't think she matters to anymore. Friends, relatives. She knows everything. She remembers everything from while she was sedated on a vent. She knows who was there. She knows who wasn't. She knows who's done things, who's checked on her. And while it hurts her, anything that hurts her hurts me, she's still pushing. She's still fighting. And now she's got something more to fight for, thanks to our angel. And I got to go up to the nursing home the other day and speak with them. Kind of get the ball rolling a little bit to be prepared. And the welcome that I got up there from Ruby and everybody. They told me that me and mom were family. That they're sorry about the circumstances, but they were glad to see me again, and they're going to be glad to see mom. They assured me that they're going to take good care of mom, and I have no doubt. I know they will. But it took me getting out of God's way. Because again, like I said, I'm a fixer. I'm a doer. I go head first into a problem trying to fix it. A lot of times I jump the easy solutions and go to the hardest one because a lot of times that's the solution, the hardest way. And I have to work my way backwards. This time there was no working my way backwards for me. It took me getting out of God's way so that He could plant the correct thoughts and ideas in my mind and get the trash out of it, the dark spots. It took me getting out of the way for Him to put the light back in my head, for me to be able to think clear and do what He wanted me to do, what He needed me to do, not what I wanted to do, not what I was trying to do, what I was trying to force to happen. And I know it was God that put that. We'll have to go stop the dryer in a minute. It does that for a while. Mom's dryer is very old. My dryer is very old. I've been here with her for almost 7 years now. I came back, moved back in with her the first time she got cancer. She's beaten cancer twice now, and now she's fighting and beating this. And some people would look down on that. Some people will say, "Oh, you still live with your parents?" Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. As a matter of fact, I do live with my mom by choice because she needed me the way I used to need her. Some people look at that as a bad thing. I don't, because I'm getting extra time with my parent. I'm getting extra time with my mom. And I'm returning a favor to her. Think what you want of that. I don't care. But it took me laying down. It took me getting on my knees. Figuratively, I was in a car, I couldn't get on. But it took me getting on my knees and throwing up my hands and saying, "God, I got nothing left. I got nothing left but you." I had to get out of the way first, and that's something that's hard for a lot of people. It's hard for me. It's very hard for me. It's always been hard for me because I try to do everything myself. And I can't. As bad as I want to. As much as I like to think I can at times. Can do everything, anything. I can't. The only things I have been able to do and accomplish is because of God. And I can look back and see that now. That my eyes have been opened a little more through all of this. I look back, and while I've been in church for the majority of my life, I know there were many times, a lot of times, I've just went through the motions. And it sucks that it takes stuff like this to open your eyes. But sometimes that's God's plan. Sometimes that's the only way God can get your attention. And that's not saying that God's taking things out on other people for you to get your attention, to get you to do what He needs you to do. But sometimes some of us, especially me, are so hard-headed and so determined to do it ourselves that it's the only way. And it took me just giving everything, turning it all over to God to get my miracle, to get my answer, to get the darkness out of my head again. But God does still answer your prayers. If you don't believe it, come sit down with me and have a conversation. I have 2 months worth of examples to give you. There is a God. He is mighty. He is in control if you let him be in control. But you got to get out of his way and let him do his thing. Let him do what's right. And he knows the right timing, the right place, the right things. And he'll give it to you if you let him. I wasn't letting him. But I hope in some way that can help someone. As I was done, I was on that thin edge, ready to leap. God didn't let me Monday night because he was going to show me what he could do on Tuesday. I'm so thankful to him for that. I'm so thankful to his angel on earth. I gotta stop that dryer. I'm so thankful for family that's willing to help, that's willing to step up and offer resources that I couldn't get on my own. I'm thankful to God for making you the person that you are and being willing to help. I'm thankful to God for putting you, while yes, your family and would be in our lives, but because of church, because of the church I grew up in, that you all helped build and start. You, your husband, your dad, my dad, and mom. Because of that, because of God, because of God putting so many things in motion all those years ago when I was running around in diapers, really. Because of that, God knew back then that we would need you. He put you in our lives all those decades ago, so many years ago. And put that thought in my head to finally ask for help. I'm so thankful to him that you were there to help. Now, as far as an update on Mom, we moved facilities. She is not in Hazard anymore. The rehab doctor decided that they couldn't do a whole lot else for her there. We needed to try some new tricks to get her brain to make a new path to control her arm and leg. And we're now in Hyden at Mary Breckenridge, which, by the way, my gosh, that facility, beautiful. The inside of that place, like I walked in and I was like, I walk into the Taj Mahal, or I don't know what's going on here. Just absolutely gorgeous. And the food there is amazing. Mom loves it. Her first night there, she got there, she missed lunch, she got dinner. And Mom, for whatever reason, loves chicken liver. And I'll be daggone that first night. What did they bring her? That was the dinner. Fried chicken livers, peas, and I think it was mashed potatoes. And even a roll. And she'd been begging for a roll. She's done with hospitals at this point, but that food helps a lot because it's nothing like hospital food. But yeah, we've been there since Wednesday, and she seems to like it pretty good. She's already making friends with the staff. Of course, Mom can make friends with anybody, anywhere. jokes and cuts up with them. The physical therapy staff there, very good. And while mom's leg keeps getting stronger, Friday she walked 100 foot straight without stopping, which was new. She'd went 100 foot total before, but she would have to stop and rest, and this time she went 100 foot total. She was exhausted, but she'd done it. And she was starting to show, she'd gotten a little bit of strength back in her arm, in her shoulder. Sunday night, when I was forcing her to watch the Super Bowl with me, played football my entire life. The only game she ever went to was my high school senior night. No elementary school games, no college games, no nothing. She hates football. Hates it. But I forced her to watch the Super Bowl with me because, hey, she couldn't stop it. And I wanted to watch the Super Bowl. I wish that dryer would just stop. But we're sitting there and she was like, Brian, I think I can feel my one hand pushing against my other hand. And I turned and I was like, what are you talking about? Do you need to go to sleep? And she explained it to me, showed me. I was like, well, let me try. Sure enough, I felt resistance. Now, today, yesterday, and today, because I tested it again today, she is moving her shoulder. She can use her shoulder to pull her arm back and forward. And I can even feel, even though it's all coming from the shoulder mostly, I can feel her bicep flexing. So it's slowly working its way down her arm. Hopefully, it'd be nice if by the end of the week we had some finger movement this coming week. I'm not going to hold my breath, but it's possible. But yeah, she's in hiding now. We're there for at least 20 days. Then, depending on how she is, it's either home with lots of extra care at home, or to the nursing home for a month or so. Probably the nursing home. And while for a lot of people that sounds like a kiss of death, I don't think it will be for her because she's very well liked there. And she'll be taken care of, I know. And she's very determined. So she still sits of the evenings and at night before she goes to sleep, constantly working her arm and her fingers and doing extra exercises with her leg to get it stronger and everything. So she's still pushing, still trying. Everything that's happened this week has helped a lot. It's took a lot of weight off of her. Let her just worry about getting better again. So extremely thankful for that. To God and everyone that's helped. And I know those people wouldn't be there if it weren't for God. So, but I got to go stop this dryer and I got to get in the bed. I've got a lot of clothes to fold for me and Mom. She's started wearing some normal clothes now, more. She's getting up a little more, having her sit in the chair, stuff like that. So she's trying more, so getting stronger. But and I will say this, because of all this legal stuff that I've been having to deal with, laws and everything else, I'm gonna reach out to a couple more friends that can probably help me. Reach out to one already, and she messaged me back, and I haven't gotten to get back with her yet. Because over at Hyden, by the way, I get no signal. AT&T is useless over there, and for whatever reason, iPhones won't connect to the Wi-Fi. So I got nothing when I'm at the hospital. But because of all of this, like I said, I've got to talk to some more friends about it. I've been taking for almost 3 years now. I've been taking classes online at Los Angeles School of Film to get my digital videography degree, and I've now dropped those classes, despite getting straight A's the entire time. Um, I've dropped those because my focus has shifted. I will soon, probably Appalachian School of Law, depending on what some people tell me. Um, but I will soon be enrolling online in law school. Never thought I would do that. I'm going to get my law degree, and I'm going to specialize in elder law, to help people like Mom in these situations. So the ones that don't have someone who'll try and fight the way I've been doing, have someone to turn to, and so that families who are dealing with that kind of stuff, that are lost and confused and can't make any sense out of all these laws and regulations, and trusts you got to set up and whatever else, so that they have someone that they can turn to help them the way I've been helped. Like I said before, the government is so corrupt. It should be illegal to do the things that they try to do. And probably is, if you get right down to it, especially if you go by the Declaration of Independence, because if you go by that, we're not even supposed to have taxes. If you go by the Declaration of Independence and can have the right arguments in court, you could get out of paying taxes. Because we're not supposed to have taxes. That's the whole point in this country. That and freedom of religion. But anyway, I'm going to, always people would always compare me to Dad because of working with the youth and everything, and churches and stuff. I've never liked it. I used to not like it. So I don't want to be like Dad. Well, I love Dad and respect Dad, and definitely respect all the stuff that he done and the people that he helped and the things that he done for people and for the church and for God, for the church as a whole, like the big C, capital C church. I didn't want to be like Dad. I wanted to do my own thing, make my own path. Turns out I can be like Dad and still make my own path, because I want to help people like he did. I'm going to help people like he did. Different manner, but God will be included in the way I do it. We need more people willing to fight for the elderly, for our veterans. We need someone that's willing to get loud and be a voice. I've never minded to ruffle feathers. There's a lot of feathers going to get ruffled soon. But yeah, I'm going to go to law school, and help people so that they don't get to the point that I'd gotten to. And so that I can return the favor, so that I can pay it forward of what's been given to me now, with the help that I've been given, to understand and get me in the right places. I'm going to pay it forward. I'm going to help people with all of this. I think a lot of people don't turn that route because I'd never heard of an elder law attorney before now. I'd never heard of elder law. And I think if more people knew about it and knew what it was, that they would probably take more advantage of it. No, that's not the route I went. I was getting ready to go that route, but was given a better, faster route. And I don't know, the elder law thing may have been as fast. I don't know because I didn't have to go that route. Praise God for family and friends. Um, but I'm going to give that route as an option for people. Um, yes, I'm old. Probably too old to go back to school. I was in school to begin with, but especially for law. Um, but with what I've been through, with what I've been dealing with what I still have to deal with, um, someone needs to help. Um, and I don't mind being that someone. And I will put the time and the effort in to do it, to make it happen, to pay it forward, to help other people the way I've been helped, to give other people an option other than just laying down and giving up. So, anyway, that's where we're at. So, if you message me or text me or try to call me and I don't answer immediately, probably in hiding and don't have signal or Wi-Fi. But if you ever get the chance to visit Mary Breckenridge Hospital, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I still think the entire county of Leslie County should be named after Joel Bashir. Uh, but a little inside joke for Joel and I. And that's one thing I've gotten to do while I've been over there is, catch up with some friends, some old friends. Joel specifically included in that. Um, I just stopped by to see him and catch up with him. He ended up taking me out to lunch and showing me a really, really good coffee place there in town. It's really good. I've been back since, by the way, if you're watching this, Joel. And but I appreciate that. I appreciate him being such a good friend, offering me a bed at his house, a place to take a normal shower, um, food. You're a good friend, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you. Um, Hopefully, one day I can help you out too. But anyway, that's what's been going on. Lots of stress, lots of sleepless nights, lots of sleep I'm still not caught up on. But I can sleep a little better now. Um, Things are much brighter. Um, I got out of God's way and He brought the sunlight back. Um, just like He does. There's a there's a song by Hawk Nelson called "Drops in the Ocean." Part of the chorus says, "If you want to know how much you mean to me," the song, I assume, I haven't looked it up or studied it, but I assume just from the lyrics that it's written from God's perspective, um, to us, speaking to us. If you want to know how much you mean to me, um, look at my hands, look at my side. And while it is a catchy song, um, while it is a catchy hook in the song, a catchy chorus, it's true. Um, I thought that I'd used up my favors from God. Turns out it's limitless. I've always heard it. It's hard to comprehend, you know. Oh, it's limitless, it's eternity. It's hard to comprehend because we're held back by our human minds. Um, it's hard to comprehend eternity. It's hard to comprehend anything being limitless because here on earth, everything has a limit. Our lives, our bodies. But to Him, it's It's never ending. He sees it. He sees the big picture. And when I say the big picture, I mean your entire life. There's stuff that you can see and read. I would laugh about it. Not anymore, but it says, God, why are you making me late for work? Why are you causing me to be stuck behind this slow driver? Why are you? And it goes on to say, God says back that you may be angry at me, thinking that I have done this to you. But what you didn't see was that if you hadn't been held back by that slow driver, you would have gotten hit by this drunk driver, or a tree would have fallen on your car, whatever, take that wherever you want. It's true. He plans things so far in advance that we can't comprehend, that we can't see, that at the time it may seem like a punishment. It may seem like God's punishing you, but He's not. There's going to be, I hate that dryer. There's going to be trials. We're going to use some church words here. There's going to be trials. There's going to be tribulations. There's going to be pain. There has to be, because we're human. We're limited. Losing a loved one, it's going to be pain. You're going to get angry. You're going to go through all the emotions. I've hit all the emotions in one day here recently. But He's got everything planned out and mapped, that something may have happened when you were 10 that just broke your heart. Then when you're 40, 41, you see now that there was a purpose in that God had a purpose, because He was setting you up for something else, for something better. He was setting you up to have a person in your life that you would need later on. Don't discount the trials. Don't discount the pain. You may not see it. You may not believe it. I've got friends that don't believe the way I believe. And that's okay, because I'm going to keep working on you. But they also know that I don't care about them any less because they believe different than I do, because they don't look at something the way I do, because I don't believe the way they do. They know that I don't care any less, that I still love them, and I would still do anything for them, because I know they would do anything for me. Wow, I really meant this video to just be a few minutes long. But it has been a while, so had a lot of stuff to get out. But just because you don't see it, you may not even believe it at the moment. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean that there's not good that's going to come from it. From whatever you're dealing with, whatever's causing you hurt, whatever is causing you anger or stress. In time, God will make it better. God will show you that He meant it for good. It may not feel like it. It may not seem like it. I can attest to it. But it is. It does. So I hope that all of this helps someone somehow. It makes someone look at things a little different. Makes them feel a little different. Makes them maybe not feel as alone as I felt for the past 2 months. Despite so many people from church, friends and family from church, and despite all of it, I felt so alone these past few months, past couple months. Because there's so many things that only I could deal with. And I felt so abandoned and on an island by myself. I was not. I may not have seen it because I wouldn't get out of his way, but God was there. God is there now and will continue to be there for me, for you, for whatever you may be going through. God will be there. God is there. Sometimes we just have to get out of his way and let him do his thing. So I hope that helps. And hopefully next time I do a video, it'll A, be shorter, and B, I'll be able to talk about mom being able to use her fingers again. Or coming home. One of the two. Because thanks to God, thanks to an angel on earth, she's got a home to come home to. So, anyway, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I got to fold a bunch of laundry and at least get an hour or two of sleep before I go to church and praise my amazing God for the things that he has done and the things that he's going to do that I don't even know yet, that don't even make sense to me yet. So hopefully you watch this, you got time to make it to church. You're more than welcome to come join me at Hyman First Baptist. If you've got another church you go to, praise God. If you're not close to Hyman, find a church. And I hope that they're as welcoming to a new person as my church is. But one way or another, even if it's just in your living room, watching John Hagee or someone on TV, someone good on TV, I hope that you praise God and thank God today for the things that he's done for you that you don't even know about yet. So thank you guys for continued prayers, for thinking about mom, and I'll see you somewhere down the road.